You're listening to the Lovish Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Sita Hood, vision architect and licensed therapist. Each week, I'm going to help you to develop the belief and strategy necessary to make an immediate impact on the world by deep diving into topics like mental wellness, faith, relationships, and you guessed it, love. I should mention before we hop into the show, this is not a substitute for a relationship with a licensed therapist. You ready? Let's get it. Welcome back for another episode of the Lovish Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Sita Hood, vision architect and licensed therapist. What is in your mug today? You already know we have our water cup here. And we got the same coffee that's had me in a chokehold in our heart mug. Isn't that so cute? I'm going to insert a picture of this coffee mug properly because I don't want to spill the contents that are in it. I'm going to post that probably somewhere around here so that you can see what it looks like. If you were with me on my stories over New Year's Eve weekend, then you probably already saw that mug. And I'm wondering if they have that mug in your local Target. And if you got a mug addiction, like I got a mug addiction. Because I got a mug addiction. Okay. I'm happy to say that. And a tumbler addiction because it's just the simple things in life, right? Okay. So let's get into today's episode. How to practice gratitude when life sucks. Okay. Okay. All right. I know there are all these quotes about positivity and, some people believe like, am I just lying to myself if I'm saying affirmations or if I'm practicing gratitude and there is a such thing as toxic positivity where you are ignoring reality, but that's not what I'm talking about here on this episode. I think it's important to address the question, why are we talking about gratitude and why now at the start of the year? Gratitude literally leaves so much room for our growth, and it allows us to focus on the positive aspects of life. And focusing on the positive aspects of life gives us room to create strategies and ways out of challenging situations. So as much as life might suck, that is one of the best times to practice gratitude. And why? Because again, if I'm in a situation where I'm struggling with something or things aren't working out as I had hoped, then if I practice gratitude, okay, I have this and I have this. What can I do with these two things that I already have? That is looking at it from a positive aspect, but also like looking at it and thinking, I'm grateful that I have this and I'm grateful that I have that. How can I put these two things together? And I want to give you an example of that. Let's say that I have a craving for some yummy pancakes, right? And then I get really discouraged and I'm pissed off because I don't have no pancake batter. I could look at the situation like that, or I can be like, ooh, actually I got bananas, I got some eggs, and I got some flour. I can be grateful for those three ingredients that I have, and I can throw together some banana pancakes. Now, maybe they aren't the buttermilk pancakes in the box that I like or whatever the case is, but by changing my perspective to say, what do I have? What am I grateful that I do have? I can combine what I do have to create a different result that might actually end up being much better than what I originally planned. Okay. So gratitude allows us to be able to see strategy for challenging situations. It pulls us out of the negative headspace and puts us in a positive headspace to be able to do something, to move forward, to keep progressing, to see the full picture. Why now? Well, truthfully, because we lost a lot of people that we cared about over the past year. Truthfully, because life is so freaking hard right now. Truthfully, because groceries are so expensive. They're stupid high on the cost. And because we, the millennials, are now the adults and we get to create the traditions that our kids carry forward. And simply because it's always a good time to practice gratitude. So let's talk about how to practice gratitude. I want to give you a couple of practical ways to practice gratitude. The first one is a gratitude walk. And I know, what the heck is a gratitude walk, Dr. Hood? I'm going to tell you. I'm about to tell you. You listening? Okay. When is the last time that you decided to go for a walk and be intentional to show some appreciation for nature? Nature always puts me in my most grateful state of mind, because every year, regardless of our feelings, regardless of what we got planned, regardless of the birthday party you might want to throw for yourself in January and the snowstorm, if it's gonna snowstorm, guess what? It's coming. It don't care what you got planned. Nature just does its thing. And it's just consistent, right? It's consistent if nothing else. It just shows up. The breeze blows, the rain falls down to help the plants grow, the leaves wither away, and then snow comes and new plants grow. Like, it just does its thing. It cuts out all the feelings and it just does its thing. And because it just does its thing, we get to experience so many other aspects of life. We have crops that grow, delicious corn. Okay, I live near cornfields and that corn be popping in the fall. Okay, we get so many amazing things simply because nature just does its thing. So when is the last time that you actually showed some appreciation for nature? When is the last time that you've gone on a walk and intentionally thought about all the amazing things in your life? All the amazing things that you've already accomplished, the amazing things to come, the things that you are potentially excited about. And physical exercise paired with gratitude can also be really helpful and a power up in your day if you really think about it, right? You could be facing one of the worst situations. And then when you go on a walk and get some fresh air in your lungs, and you start to thinking and thanking God, like, I'm so grateful I got activity of my limbs. I'm grateful that I can walk. I'm grateful that I can see properly. I'm grateful that my lungs are working properly. Like, there's so many little things that we take for granted day in and day out. Even feeling well enough to go outside and take a walk, all of those things are a blessing that we tend to overlook. Another way to practically practice gratitude is to express your gratitude verbally. I think, unfortunately, we are living in an era where we have lost the art of human compassion. We don't really show gratitude for the simple things that people do. We don't show love to one another. We don't say thank you. We're not polite. I was going to Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I was like so mixing up two places. I was going to Tropical Smoothie Cafe and I was bringing out 3 smoothies and my hands were kind of full, and this lady was walking in front of me and she didn't even hold the door. And that's fine if you don't want to hold the door with me being right behind you. But not only did she not hold the door slammed on my arms with these smoothies in my arms. Sidebar, this is why I always you can tell my clients, you can tell somebody's character and what they're about, even from the first interaction, because a kind person just in general looks behind them to see if someone's walking out behind them. And in general, they're probably going to hold the door for you. And then they're definitely going to hold the door for you if your hands are full. But this woman saw me walking behind her, did not hold the door, did not care, did not whatever. So I think we really live in an age where we've unfortunately lost the art of human compassion. And we need to get that back. It's okay to be kind to people just because. It doesn't have to be Thanksgiving. It doesn't have to be some special occasion. You ain't got to be in a good mood. You could be in a bad mood to hold the door, honey. Like, I mean, that's just basic human decency, And so we don't show love to people. We don't show gratitude. We don't say thank you. I want you to really sit and ask yourself, when is the last time that you wrote a letter of gratitude to somebody? When was the last time you did that? If it's been a while, I want to challenge you to write not 1, not 2, but 3 letters of gratitude to somebody important in your life, to somebody that you're so grateful for. And it doesn't have to be a long letter. It can be a small card. In fact, I like to keep little cards on hand to just fill this up. And if I want to throw a gift card in there randomly just because, I do that. This particular set of cards is from Goldmine and Coco. So yeah, just like I'm challenging you to write a letter of gratitude and express thanks to someone. Okay. Another way to show gratitude is to keep a gratitude journal or a log, which is pretty common. Some people do like 1 line a day and things like that. And that's cool. You can do that if you want. But I want to encourage you to maybe take it a step further And don't just write what you're grateful for. Take it a step further and write why you're grateful. Why are you grateful for this thing? What does it mean for you that this thing happened? What does it do for you? How does your life shift and change as a result of this thing? I want to encourage you to really tap into that. And the hard parts, really quickly, let's just talk about them. What to do when life sucks. First, we got to handle the hard. We can't just ignore it. We can't pretend like it doesn't exist. We got to be real about the fact that it's a real thing. If something knocks the wind out of you, it's all right to sit down and catch your breath. Let's think about if you were boxing or something like that, or even working out and the exercise wiped you out. Are you going to still try to push even though you feel like death? Or are you going to pause, catch your breath, and get back in the game? If something happened and it sucks and it makes you feel like sinking into your bed or the couch or whatever, it's okay. Sink in. Take the time to do whatever you need. Give yourself the space that you need and the time that you need it. And then I also want you to ask for support from your people. But I want you to take it a step further than just asking for support and tell them how you want to be supported. And if you need help with that, then you need to check out the episodes on how to elevate your communication, part 1 and part 2. I take you really deep into telling people how you want to be supported and how to move forward from there. It's time to talk about what I've been loving. Product recommendations, shout outs to family and friends, and overall gratitude. Let's get into it. This week is pretty simple on what I've been loving. I have been loving my heart mug, and I've been loving taking the time to step away from social media so I can get my mind right and really just produce at the level that I believe God has called me to produce at for you and to show up in the ways that I know He wants me to show up just for you. I'm so excited that you are a listener of this podcast. I don't take it for granted. If you enjoyed today's episode, share the love. Share with your mama, share with your auntie, share with your best friend, and then head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Reviews help the podcast to grow. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I'll see you out in these social media streets. Bye.